Onward! To the adventure that is Ren! Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform, with a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. The odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in the corner very still, but I still somehow took her as part of the furnishing or a statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. You know, out of all the girls, I think Ren might have the most attractive eyes. Also, I guess, leg fetish. That's the thing. Did I read that? Ah, fuck. I'm not sure. I'll just read it in case. She's staring at me, her mouth open wide, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. The weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello. The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hey. I was told to pick up some supplies from here for some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You're pretty observant. I guess it does. But who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. Hisao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Ren. Tezuka Ren. Ren Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least now we know who we are. That's very nice. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kinda bothers me. Joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. While I'm trying to figure what's appropriate and whether this girl is, she seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back. Go right ahead, but lunch? School's already over for the day. What word would you use then? There is no word for a meal you eat after lunch, but before dinner, right? It bothers me very much so, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you're supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now, and my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Ren once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. So, Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. No, this is school. From outside you look fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out. I can guess. I'm good at guessing. Better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition. Or maybe it's just because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is part of the whole social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I mean, I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances, or Lilly's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary, and like this lunch of mine, and less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. Ren, you see here, I can take off my pants right now and show you that there is no problem whatsoever. Although then, I would be in a lot of trouble for sexual harassment. So, Excuse me while I take off my pants. I think I might have reeled back even physically as Ren's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right! There's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing I can think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem. Arrhythmia. I said it. More like blurted out, but I said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just, I collect people, and a person with, you know, that kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people? People with different problems. Huh. So you just, like, go ahead asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. Ren's my kind of person. With little left to say, Ren resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away, but I keep thinking about what I said. What was said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it, like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Well, for someone in your unique-ish situation, Hisao, I suppose announcing your heart problem would probably be smart to avoid circumstances like being hit in the chest by those such as Emmy, or, you know, just general horseplay. People would know not to do it. Hi, I'm Hisao Nakai. I have a very serious heart condition. Well, if you put it that way. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us? What a disgusting thought. Except, you were literally defining people by their disabilities. Oh, the blind girl? The girl with scars? Fuck you, Hisao. Or maybe this Suzuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. As I walk to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study Ren from the corner of my eye. Her hair is burnt auburn, almost orange but cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty except for her murky green eyes, which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it within them like deep wells. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their arms. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially while eating. Makes me feel a bit uncomfortable at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabins and shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable, so I try to force some conversation out of this strange girl. So, do you always eat alone and this late, or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors. Maybe you were my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports ball. Oh. And that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Ren forks the last bits of her meal to her mouth. I look down in my hall and double-check it with Misha's list. Seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you were going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. You know what, Ren? You know what? That is absolutely true. I enjoy watching girls sleeping. Would you mind if I stay? No? You don't mind? Well, that takes away some of the excitement. I guess I'll just go. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Ren looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll get you around, Suzuka. You can call me Ren. I feel like our relationship is at a point good enough to warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine, then I'm Hisao. Then you are. Ren looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's not actually looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hisao. There's something like a tiny smile there in her face. Maybe. I quietly back out of the room as I shut the door in front of my face. I whisper to myself, what an intriguing person. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that.
Ooh, what did you hear?
Oh god, Misha, fuck you. I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow she had gotten to jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I push that thought aside. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof, as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited.
No, wait, more importantly, who's in there? There's no club meetings today.
She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here?
You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Hichan.
She wags her finger at me scoldingly.
I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you're tardy.
Hey, I have no part in this. I offered to help. Don't get an attitude just because I'm slow about it. I'm never helping you again. You suck. Oh, sorry, I got the things here. Was just going to bring them.
I think you were up to some mischief, Hichan. Who was in there with you? I wonder.
Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she was experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed she stares at Rin, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders from suppressed rage, I'm sure.
Don't make her angry. You wouldn't like her when she's angry.
She just becomes a giant blue monster woman. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously to Misha. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Ren is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she is not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Hello. Ren's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Ren directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello.
Miss Tezuka, what do you think you're doing? You absolutely are not permitted to use school property for such, disgraceful activity.
You know, I never thought about it, but I wonder how you sign names. I mean, I guess you'd come up with things for words, but names seem like they'd be a bit different. Ah well. It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune/Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs.
Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how's your project going? Will it be done for the festival?
Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself, too.
And?
We'll think about it harder. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown.
Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it.
Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't, not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Well, gonna end the part there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.